Hey everyone, how you doing? Sunset Sessions back here on a Thursday. Are you in, Demetrius? Are you in?
Not yet. I think I'm waiting for the invite for Instagram.
No, go into. You're in Instagram though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see you.
Or maybe I should go to your page and request.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that. Tambor party live.
Just bear with us. We're getting all connected up, everyone.
And send request.
Darwood, nice to see you. Jackie Tan. There you go. Just bringing in Demetrius right now. Are you in, Demetrius? There you go. Yay. And he's got his Tambor shirt on.
This is the vintage Tambor shirt.
Right, exactly. That's old school, real old school Tambor shirt.
So,
yeah. Do you have your speaker on your computer?
Yeah, I'm actually turning it down now.
Right, there you go. There you go. So, hello and welcome everyone to Tambor Party Sunset Sessions. This is now running every Thursday from 7 p.m. until, and each week we're going to have a special guest where I'll speak to our guest about their experience with Tambor Party. And this has all happened because we started Sunset Sessions before the last Tambor Party on March 30th, and we got such a good response that we thought, you know what, let's just keep this going. So we're talking to people who have been around some time, had experience with Tambor Party. They like it. And they're doing some interesting things in the community as well. And you know, at first I thought, oh, we're just we're just going to run out of people in a few weeks. But more and more people are getting involved in this and jumping on board. So we're going to keep it going as long as we can. So without further ado, I want to introduce this week's very special guest, Mr. the man himself, the photographer extraordinaire of Tambor Party, is Demetrius Williams. Thank you for joining us this week, Demetrius.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And for those of you who don't know, Demetrius has been with Tambor for some 10 years.
It might be fair because I think I came in 2012.
Right. So there you go.
Yep. So about 12.
A long time.
Yeah.
Right. 12 years. Right. And Demetrius has been Tambor's photographer, official photographer, and been everywhere with us, right? From Atlanta to Chicago to New York to Bali to Egypt to everywhere. So it's a pleasure having you on. It's an absolute pleasure having you part of the Tambor family.
Thank you. And I want to excuse or apologize in advance for that. You might be here.
You live right next to a train.
There's a
railway,
train
right?
Right past my loft. So
right. Okay. It's about that time.
Yep.
Right. Big shout out going out to Afro Warriors, who knows Demetrius as well. You did a photo shoot for Afro Warriors.
Yep.
Lamadi is on. Jackie Tan is on. So big shout going out to everyone jumping on board. And of course, this is going to be available up on the Tambor Instagram. And we are also live on Facebook and YouTube. So we also have Marrakesh behind the walls. Okay, it's a friend of yours, right? Jumping on. Okay,
Isham.
right, Isham. That's right. That's great. Yalla. So Demetrius, how did we meet?
We met through a mutual friend, Michelle Dawes Burt.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. She was like, I've got a photographer that can do better than most people.
Yeah, it was a sort of a circling back type of deal. I think I always tell the story. I approached you at one point, asking if you needed a photographer because I had just moved back to the Atlanta area, and at that point, I think it was just like, we're not really there yet, or I think you may have already had some folks just taking pictures for you anyway. People
right.
the cameras. And then I think a year later, Michelle came to me like, "Hey, I've got this DJ promoter who is in need of photographer, Stan Zeff." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So so we connected, and the rest is history, pretty much.
Right, that's right. And you've been with us with the brand ever since. Integral part of the brand. Just want to say a shout out to Kelsey K, I think on Facebook. And Lukumi, what's up, my brother? Okay, people joining in, jumping in. Feel free to ask questions if you want, and we'll do our best to answer them. Okay. So Demetrius, before being part of the Tambor party, you were doing your own events up in
Virginia.
So and being part of Tambor, how does that differ from other parties? Because you've been going to WMC for years and part of the house scene since the 90s. So what's so special about Tambor?
Tambor is well, I would say it's both Tambor and the Atlanta scene in general. But for Tambor, it's I guess, for lack of a better word, it's much more family oriented. It's like everybody who comes to Tambor, it's like a family.
Community, right?
Yeah, it's community. It's almost like a big family reunion every event.
Right.
Everybody looks out for each other. It's just everybody is always so happy to see each other.
Right.
And it's one of those things where you don't have to act a certain way. You don't have to dance a certain way. You just come and be you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I notice you capture that, don't you?
It's my favorite thing.
Right.
Favorite thing to capture. And the bonus is when I'm actually able to capture that moment of release.
Right.
With the dancers, or just people, just however they're expressing emotion. I just love capturing that moment. Right.
Of course. And at some point we've got so much content. From when you would come doing the Tambors, and prior to that, I think I've pretty much got pictures of every single Tambor party. So every Thursday, I'm slowly going through past parties and working my way up. The
Miami party, before I even met you, I think it was a Trot Tambor in Miami that I photographed, and then turn around and, oh wow, now I'm their photographer. So it's like,
right.
Yeah,
of course, had to be. So what was I going to say? I at some point we're going to have to put a book together of of all Tambor photography books, maybe volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, or something like that. But I think, especially for 15 years, maybe we do a special 15-year book, put it up. Maybe people be interested in that, I think. Yeah. That's great.
So that means we'll have to have some late night sessions pouring through
going through pictures on pictures, because it's like all the cruises, the Tribe Tambor cruises, Egypt, and the parties. So there's a lot to go through. Thousands upon thousands of pictures. Yeah. So you're primarily a photographer, but your photography takes you around the world, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And so you have what would you call it? What's your business? It's a photography retreat.
It's a photography retreat.
Right. Called?
It is called Inspire. Well, it's called IAP Retreat, and that stands for Aspire Photography Retreats.
Okay. So tell us a bit about that. Tell us a bit about
the photography retreats indirectly are sort of the result of the Tambor cruises.
Right.
Because the first retreat I did was a Cuba retreat, and that Cuba retreat was not necessarily an official retreat, but it was as a result of the Tambor cruise having to be redirected, so to speak. That was a year we were supposed to go to Cuba.
Right.
And the ability to go to Cuba was kind of shut down, cruise ships. So I got together with some of the other photographers who are usually on the Tambor cruises. Charmaine Bourne, Lenny. I don't know if Lenny had ever been on a cruise before, but Lenny, and of course, from
Toronto, the brother.
Yeah. But the four of us got together and started researching what it would take to go to Cuba, and we just did it.
Right.
And that after the first visit, I decided I'm gonna do this every January.
Right.
And from there, we did, I think, 2 or 3 years. COVID shut everything down. And I think for me, it was sort of a blessing in disguise, because while I was not working, so to speak, because no one wants photography when everybody so
in COVID, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was just formulating, plans on, okay, well, where else can we do a retreat? And I think Morocco was the next annual retreat I started putting together. So basically, these retreats are not only for professional photographers, but for people who appreciate photography and who might want to learn how to take better photos.
Right.
It's also a means to make it easier for people to travel, because I try to encourage people to get outside of the United States.
Right.
At least
once. Definitely. Definitely.
Explore a different culture. So I try to make it as easy as possible for people to do that. And it's been very fulfilling. It's very, very fulfilling.
Oh, great. So just give us an idea of places that you've been. I mean, I've been a couple of places with you. I've been to Bali and Morocco, which were amazing trips. What other places have you been to?
So, of course, there's the original Cuba. There's Morocco. There's Bali. The latest one I returned from a couple months ago was Thailand. I've done Tokyo,
Kenya,
and I'm leaving one out. I'll think of it later. Oh, Tanzania.
Tanzania, right.
Yeah.
Have you done Europe?
I have not.
So it's all a lot, right? There's a big world out there.
I will say Europe. Now I've done Europe because I also have been commissioned by families to put together trips for them. So I did take 2 different families to Europe. One family wanted to do Paris, London, and Rome. and
Right.
the other family wanted to do Paris, London, and Amsterdam.
Right.
And then I have another family in July I'm taking them to Madrid, Rome, and Santorini.
Okay. Wow. I've always wanted to go to Santorini.
Yeah.
That's one place that is on my bucket list for sure that I want to go to. That's Santorini. Yeah. Marksman photo.
That's Marcus.
Yeah, that's Marcus. Hey, I'm Marcus Applejack. What's up, Applejack? And on Facebook we have Roberto Alfredo.
Roberto. All right. So
Yeah.
Roberto goes back. So Roberto is part of the original Usual Suspects crew when we were doing events, like way back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining, Alberto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Demetrius, let's switch gears a bit because I'm just gonna throw a curveball at you and just ask you some questions, and we're just gonna drop in and go deep.
Okay.
And part of the reason why we like your photos so much is because of the angles and the way you take your photos. Because there's people that take photos, but they're always like, Demetrius is the club god for photography. Because of the angles and the filters and everything that you do with when you're taking pictures and what you capture.
Mm-hmm.
So let's drop in. Let's go a bit deep. So my question really is, what do you see when you're looking in the camera? Because you're not just taking a picture. Because there's other photographers that just take pictures, right? But you see things that other people don't see. And if you can explain that when you look in the lens of your camera, what do you see? And then what do you look for?
Okay, so it's kind of tricky because it's more or less what I see outside of the camera first, and the fact I'll go back a little bit. So I used to tell people, if you want to photograph an event or anything that you want to photograph, I think you are best suited to photograph that thing if you're already part of that community.
Right.
So that having been said, I've been part of the house community for years. So, I tend to know when something's about to happen. There's that anticipation that builds. So as I am stalking, as people will call it, around the dance floor, I'm constantly looking for reactions. I'm looking for interactions. And once, it's hard to explain. I will see an individual, and it's always just something about whoever I'm about to photograph. It's like, okay, something's about to happen. And I'll just kind of stop. They never know I'm there. And then the camera raises. And I don't know if you notice, a lot of times I don't tend to put it up to my face.
No.
I've kind of gotten my aim down. So I'm either pointing ahead, from above, sometimes from below. But it's just that quick little second of, okay, they're about to release.
Right.
And as soon as I see hands up or any sort of emotional, spiritual type of expression, the shutter starts clicking.
Right.
So that's how I approach photographing individuals. And of course, we know when a certain beat comes in.
Right. I was going to ask you, does the music have anything to do with it?
Yes, always.
Right.
Always.
Right.
Because you know when the crowd is about to erupt. And
right.
if I'm not on the dance floor myself about to erupt, I'm pretty much ready with the camera.
Right, because I was just about to say, sometimes I mean, I've seen you like secure your camera around your neck or in your hand, and you put it down somewhere and you hit the dance floor yourself. So that being said, you being a dancer, because you are a house dancer, does that help as well?
Yes, it does.
Yes,
it does. I think it helps that as a photographer, I'm not just standing in the middle of the dance floor waiting for a shot. Most of the time, I'm moving along with everyone else, or I'm kind of zipping in and out. But I would say, especially when those dance circles occur. Once in a blue moon, I'll hop into the circle and do my little thing and hop out, and then I'm capturing everyone, all the dancers. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything that, or any kind of party situation that you want on your bucket list that you want to shoot?
Ooh. You know what? I know, because I think we've talked about this before, but having Tambor. Now, Tambor Egypt was amazing, and I love shooting that. But going along that same vein, having Tambor in different locales, preferably outdoors under the night sky, in just amazing places where people will be like, "How in the world do you guys do that? Well, how do you manage that?" Yeah, So I'd say just different backdrops, just a plethora of different backdrops.
Well, you know one thing that, Jackie's listening, so I need some support on this one. But I've always been gunning for Antarctica, for a Tambor cruise in Antarctica. And what about that backdrop?
That would be phenomenal.
Right.
Bring your parkas. But
exactly. Bring your coats. But apparently it's warm in the day, right? It heats up a bit.
It's warmer in the day, and it's a shame to say, especially with global warming, is even warmer.
Right.
But that's another reason to do it before there's nothing left up there.
Right.
Yeah.
So Marcus is saying that would be superb. Do you hear that, Jackie? People are online are gunning for Antarctica. So let's look into that, right?
Yeah. I'm hoping Jackie's not in the background making a face, but
No, she's not. She's giving a thumbs up. She's giving a thumbs up. She's up for it. So what about places that you haven't been that you would like to go to shoot for yourself personally?
One of the places I've always wanted to go to Singapore. And I'm trying to make that happen in December.
Okay.
I've got a New Year's Eve retreat planned for December. I've always wanted. It seems like, I think most of the places I want to go, I have a goal of hitting every country on the continent.
Right.
Africa. I've always wanted to go to the Republic of Congo. I've been to Ghana. I've always wanted to go to Senegal.
What about India?
Yes. And there is, I'll show you one of these days. I may have shown you before. I have a travel list. Yeah, but I have a travel list on my phone.
Right.
And it's a long list of places that I want to go. There is a community in India of basically Nubian people.
Really?
In India. And I have the name of the community on my phone, but I'll have to look that up.
Okay. Interesting.
So visit that. Just even with countries that I've never been to, sometimes I get pretty specific, like, okay, I've never been here, but when I go here, I want to go even deeper, and I want to see things that no one else sees in these countries.
Right. Okay. Right. That would be great. Joanne L. Williams on Facebook. Good job. Keep up the good job.
That would be my mother.
Hi, Mom. So I just want to let people know as well with your retreats that you do give training as well. So, you know, when I'm not really a photographer, I just bought a camera. And by the time, you know, I finished the first one, which was in Morocco, it was, you know, it was pretty, you know, I could shoot, you know, I understood my way around a camera, you know, so it was good. So it's not just a retreat; it's a learning experience.
I would say it's maybe less of a photography workshop than actually immersing yourself in the culture. But my thing is, you know, when you go to these places, you're gonna want to take pictures anyway. So, you know, why not take the best pictures you can take? And it's not a workshop in a sense of, okay, we're gonna sit down and go over these lesson plans and this is no, I'm very hands-on. So I'm more or less, when we're out in the street, you have questions, I grab your camera, okay, this is how you do this, this is how you do that, and send you on your way.
Excellent. We got the House of Beats, attended the gathering at East Point. It was my first. I am hooked. Nice one.
Yeah.
Plenty more to come. Next party is June the 1st in 5 Points.
Future.
A club called Culture. Go to tamborparty.com and all the information is there. Tamborparty.com. So, tell us a bit about yourself, Demetrius. Where are you from? Obviously you're living in Atlanta now, but where are you from? Where did you grow up? And you know, let everyone know a bit more about you.
All right. So I was born in Rochester, New York. I pretty much claim Atlanta because I have been in Atlanta since age 4. My family moved to Atlanta in 1977, and I've been here kind of bouncing around College Park, Decatur, College Park, and then out to Cobb County. I am, as it says in my profiles, I'm an avid traveler, music lover, photographer. I just love the arts in general. I grew up in a household where my father was also a photographer. So, you know, I learned a lot of the basics from him and just expounded upon what I learned from him. I have a younger sister. I call her my little sister. So she is a teacher. My mother is or was a teacher, retired. She's retired.
Okay, I didn't know she was a teacher. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, so, great. Actually, yes, I did. I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. You know.
Right.
Yep. But yeah, I just in general, and Lamadia said, I'm one of those people who will just walk up to randoms on the street and just strike up conversations. That's me. I just like to be around people. I like to meet people. And yes, sometimes I would just be like, hey, out of the blue, and just start talking to somebody I've never seen before.
Out
on the street. And yeah, that's me.
That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Be sociable in this day and time, because social for most people means social media, you know, and not social as in actually talking, you know.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm completely different now than I was when I was younger, because I was always an introvert in high school. Like I was extremely shy in high school until I got an orchestra class. I kind of I had a best friend in orchestra and we used to kind of act up a little bit. But other than that, I was not one of those outgoing people. You know, I read books all the time. I went home pretty much, stayed to myself. And I think I broke out of that around the time I went into the Navy. And I think travel had a lot to do with that. Traveling in the Navy, that kind of came out of my show.
So would you say I'm an introvert as well? By the way, I'm very much an introvert, believe it or not. But would you you laughing? But it's true. I am. Jackie will tell you. So would you say that you found your passion in life?
Yes, definitely.
And that is, of course,
all three. It's a combination of photography, music, travel.
Right.
And the fact that everything could be married, photography, music, and then photography, travel. So all I need to do now is, well, we've already done Egypt. So photography, music, and travel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So do you realize how fortunate you are to have found your passion?
Yes, yes, I do.
Because there's many people out there that are, struggling, trying to find their passion in life,
Yeah.
And some people will just say, I just want to help people, and and they really know that it's more than that, Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone that's trying to find their passion in life?
I was just about to say that. So there's a friend in Virginia who basically coined this saying that every day that you are not doing what you love, you're slowly dying. It's like you're dying every day that you're not out there doing what you love. So that would be my advice. Whatever your passion is, whatever you love to do, I mean, it's going to be a struggle, especially if you leave a corporate job to pursue that passion. I mean, it's hard, but that's why it's a passion. You're passionate about it. You're willing to withstand the hardships and break through.
So how does someone know what their passion is?
I would say,
advice would you, what if someone comes up to you, it's like, Demetrius, you found your passion, it's music, photography, and travel. I don't know what my passion is. What would you say to them?
Well, I know with me, it was just one of those things that just kept resurfacing in my life. It's like through the corporate jobs that I've had, somehow I always found myself going back to music. Or if there's something in your life that just keeps sort of resurfacing, and when it hits you, you're like, you're feel yourself a little bit at peace. There might be a little something to that. You might want to, look into that a little more.
Yeah. I mean, I read that the way people can find their passion is to find something that when you're doing it, you lose track of time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you could think that you're doing this thing for 30 minutes and it's 5 hours later. That's
editing.
That's a passion.
When I come home and edit, I'm going to edit for about an hour. I'm going to take a break. And then 5 hours later, it's like, oh.
Right. What happened to the time? Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that is finding your passion. And for some people, it may mean them having to go back to childhood. Because, in childhood, people have less fear and don't really care about what other people think.
Exactly. What do you want to be when you grow up? It's like,
right. Exactly. And it's, as I was talking about the other night, it's like, some people when they're teenagers, they love playing the guitar. But as soon as like fear started kicking in, they started thinking, oh man, this isn't sustainable. It's just like, how much money can I make doing playing the guitar? I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an accountant. I'm going to do whatever, And then later on in life, they're like, I can't find my passion because you had it. And
I mean, don't get me wrong. To this day, there are still times where I'm like, how am I gonna, do this, or how am I gonna pay this, or how am I, But like I said, that's with anything. You're gonna have those rough patches,
right?
Just kind of,
right.
Keep going.
Exactly. You just gotta believe in yourself, because once you have your passion, then you're fitting into the fabric of the world and the universe. Okay, so you're doing your part for your life and what you're supposed to be doing in this day and time. And that's why you're here. You know, you're here to share music. You're here to share photography. You're here to entice people to travel, to open their minds so they can, you know, they can have fuller lives. So
and that is so important to me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and one thing that we used to do that you started was getting, you know, entrepreneurs together, people who just left corporate America, and having monthly meetings. And you know, instead of being stuck in your house, heads down, you know, trying to work out how you're going to make money, you know, we just went out and we had lunch once a month, right?
Yeah, just kind of catch up. And, you know, if someone's feeling a little discouraged, boost them up.
Right.
You never know, you're fueling somebody for at least the next week.
Right.
Just, you know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
we need to get that back.
We need to get that back going and maybe open it up a bit more, you know, because I'm sure there's people, you know, on this chat that, you know, would love to get involved with that. So, you know, how do people get in touch with you, Demetrius?
All right. So you can get in touch with me through my website, which is www.usphotog, that's USPHOTOG.com.
Say that again.
All right.
Can we put that in the chat as well?
Yeah. www. I don't know why I still say www, but yeah, that. USPHOTOG.com. So that's usphotog.com.
Right.
On Instagram, I am Suspect CEO, SUSPEX CEO. My retreats is IAP Retreats. And Facebook, Usual Suspects Photography LLC or Demetrius Williams.
Right. Okay.
Probably need to get a TikTok eventually because that's where everybody's going.
But TikTok might be leaving us as well. So
right.
Good luck with that.
Yep.
Good luck with that. So, but yeah, for now, TikTok. But it's been absolutely.
You can always, if you want to get in contact with me, you can always catch me on the floor of the Tambor thing. So.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, of course, Tambor is always there. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, June the 1st at Future Atlanta, starting at 10 p.m. For more information and tickets, go to tamborparty.com. Okay. So you'll get all the information, or just go to the Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. And you'll be sure to get all the information there. Okay. Any last comments, shout outs, or anything you want to say to anyone, Demetrius?
Man, I want to shout out everybody. Everybody who puts a positive spin on their day-to-day as well as my day-to-day. Because, you know, like everyone else, sometimes there are days that I can be a little dark. Thank you, Lamadia. She picks me up. So shout out to Lamadia, my mom, you guys for just being family.
Right. We sure are family. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys for being family. I see some of my high school classmates were in chat.
Right.
So, shout to you guys. Roberto, Marcus. Marcus has been like my secondhand man, like he's come through Tambor, but I mean more than that, he has been like with me for weddings and different events. Like, so you know, shout out to Marcus for being like one of the hardest working, most driven photographers I know.
Great.
But yeah, other than that, y'all just keep striving to do or find what you love. Find what you love doing. And you know, just try to expound on that.
Yeah.
And then once you get it to where you want to be, share it with the world.
Right. And just to finish off with, your exhibit that project you're working on, you're traveling the world, taking pictures, doing photo shoots with different women from around the world, and
Oh my gosh.
finding their stories and stuff like that.
Naturally You.
That's what it's called. What's it called?
It's called Naturally You.
Naturally You. Okay.
Yeah. So that exhibit is still forthcoming. It's a perpetual project, so it's a never-ending project. But once I'm trying to make it maybe once every quarter or so, I'll have an exhibit with participants up to a certain point. But right now, I already have a gallery in South Africa, in Johannesburg, that is interested in hosting, because a lot of the participants are in Johannesburg.
Right.
So
okay, great. Well, maybe we can do something with music as well. Make it happen.
Exactly. And maybe Jackie can volunteer for Naturally You.
Right, definitely. She's smiling. So thanks very much, Demetrius, for your time, for being part of Sunset Sessions. Thanks to everyone for joining and being part of this great chat with Demetrius. As I said, we're going to be back every Thursday now from 7 p.m. Next week we have Tassili from Raw Reality will be our guest next week. So make sure you set a reminder, tune in, because we're going to be here every Thursday going forward. So thanks very much for joining. Thanks very much again, Demetrius.
No problem. Real quick, shameless plug, not for me. Can't get this t-shirt anymore because this is vintage, but
we are going to be, there's going to be a new line of t-shirts, which we're going to be putting out soon. And we are going to reintroduce the vintage design like that.
Man.
Yes. So, because people love the old designs. So
I love this. Yeah, I love this.
Right.
This was the first shirt I ever purchased.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's still looking great.
Quality, yes. 2012. Yep.
Right. Wow. That's great. So thanks again. See you everyone next week for Sunset Sessions with Tassili. Much love. Big shout going out to ATL Skate Man, who loves Tambor Party, and he does his freestyle skating and dancing. So ATL Skate Man, we actually need to connect you with someone else part of Tambor who does skating as well. So stay tuned. We'll connect with you. All right. Thanks very much for everyone for tuning in. See you next week. Peace and love. See you later. Thanks, Demetrius. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.